What's good? You're watching and listening to Daniel and Gian Talk. I am Gian Perez, and with me always, my co-host, Daniel Trujillo. Yeah, man, Deadpool 2, starring Ryan Reynolds.
Directed by the director of John Wick 1.
Okay, and you could definitely see that in the action sequences. There's a lot of crazy action going on. Fun action.
Good action.
Really good time with the action.
Really good time with the movie in general.
I think this movie was even more meta than the first movie. There was
They doubled down on everything.
many references in
And
this.
it had a better story. It was a better.
It was fleshed out.
When Deadpool 1 first came out, one of our first things was
Those
how
paper
are they
thin.
going to do?
Yeah.
How are they going to do the second one? And they better not repeat the first one. They did repeat the first one in the first opening prologue scene to kind of establish everything.
Except for that James Bond intro.
Except for the James Bond intro.
Amazing.
It was awesome. But I'm just saying though, they didn't do that. They doubled down on all the good parts, but they actually fleshed it out, made a story. I almost wanted to cry at the end. I felt like that little ending bit worked for me personally.
Even though it was drawn out for like 15 minutes.
No, I'm talking about when he finds, spoilers, obviously spoiler cast, but when he finally dies, actually dies.
Oh, and then he
he
reunites
with the girl, and they're playing the perfect, that they did a remix or a re-recording. It fit it perfectly. It was just perfect. I knew I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
And then obviously they flipped everything on its head and then kind of which it worked. It ended. It hit the hard beats. It hit the comedic beats. It kind of I just liked it.
And it did a great job of all the plot flaws that it had in it.
And pointing them out.
Yeah, exactly. Of breaking the fourth wall like Deadpool does in the comic, and
An
pointing
empty
out
house, the empty X-Men house.
Yeah,
Can't
and even saying
throw us a fucking bone here.
So why wouldn't you go back and kill this guy when he was a baby? At the end,
Which I told you after. So there's a few post-credit scenes. And there was one that got cut out, and it was Baby Hitler. And apparently, as it was written, Deadpool goes back into the future, sees Baby Hitler, looks at Baby Hitler, and is like, ooh, this is a tough one. And he goes and gets a Sharpie and draws a Hitler mustache on the baby, and he's like, okay, that's better. And then he says, whatever catchphrase he does, and then maximum force or something like that.
Right.
And then I guess that's when he kills Hitler Baby, but they cut that out.
I mean, I feel like...
How do you defend that?
Well, I'm wondering what it looks like, because if he shoots the baby off screen, if they show the baby getting shot, shoot it off screen, who knows?
They did it. They shot it, so it'll probably be on the Blu-ray.
DVD, on the extras.
You probably have to press some code or something to unlock it, because I bet they probably hide it, but they're gonna put it on there. I don't know. Anyway, but to the movie, some of the explain some of the, because you were saying before we started recording, I bet you didn't get all of them, because I did.
I mean, it was just full of comic book references left and right, him addressing stuff. But the big one that I know for a fact that you didn't get, because
I don't read comics.
It's not
Deadpool.
So he refers to the creator of Deadpool and Cable and Domino, the three main characters in this movie, and he's like, yeah, this lucky girl who was created, by some guy who's terrible at drawing feet.
Officer, I got one question for you. What are those?
In the 90s, he made all these he was the guy that actually started the whole, let's add accessories to all our superheroes. So he started adding, pockets everywhere, little pouches on every single character. That's why Cable, the original version of him, he just got covered in pockets. He's big, huge, tiny head, big, wide shoulders, and a bunch of pockets everywhere. But he was always known for not being able to draw feet. So if you look at any of his artwork, the feet are awful. They're this little, it's hard to explain. Nobody ever had feet in any of his covers.
Hey, man.
And that's for any Deadpool fan, they know exactly, or just the comic fan from the 90s, they know exactly.
And I don't think
because he used to be a hot artist, and then he that became such a thing where he started losing. Everyone's oh great, here's another Rob Liefeld
with
cover.
No fucking feet.
Yeah, he started losing popularity. Right now he's kind of actually made a comeback where people are starting to buy his stuff again. I'm actually not a fan. I think it looks kind of shitty, but he did create Cable. He did create Deadpool. I mean, he's the biggest
iconic now.
He's the biggest modern comic book character. The guy came out in, I want to say it was 92, right around there, 91, 92, and now the only people he's not bigger. He's Superman and Batman, and who's Superman, Batman, Deadpool.
He's arguably one of the biggest characters out of the Fox lot, besides Wolverine and like Professor X and stuff. I mean, in my opinion,
he's in a different stratosphere than Professor X, but he's up there with Wolverine for sure.
You think so? You think he's bigger than because of the movies?
Professor X, absolutely.
Really?
Oh yeah. Professor X has never had a solo comic.
Well, no, I'm not talking about the comics. I'm just talking about worldwide recognition.
I think
because of the movies, I feel like Professor X and Magneto.
Deadpool is a part of pop culture. He's been a part of pop culture since before the movie came out.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying.
No, I absolutely.
I think the movies kind of put those people on a spotlight. I feel like.
Yeah,
But anyway.
But I mean, you saw what the first one did in box office.
Yeah. There was hardly any advertising for this one. I feel like. Well, I wouldn't say hardly any, but the campaigns were different.
7-Eleven had a complete campaign for Deadpool. Like they had a Deadpool Slurpee and everything.
But you didn't see huge billboards.
No.
Because they were totally pushing it the last time around Valentine's Day. It was
and who knows how much this has to do with the purchase or the selling of Fox as well. Like they
haven't sold them yet.
No,
that's not official yet.
It's not official, but there's when stuff like when there's a
I hear you. They cut out a Disney joke. Yeah. They cut a Disney joke. I don't know what that joke is, but let's get into that later. Let's get into spec because I actually do have that's one of the biggest downsides of this movie is it was so fucking great, and now I'm worried.
Where's it gonna go next?
Yeah, but let's get into that in a little bit and let's talk about the movie. So, right off the bat,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the movie where even though he pointed out the plot flaws, I still feel like there was a lot.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
There's a lot of issues.
What did you really not like
with the stories? I don't know. I mean, it just felt at the end of the day, the whole story kind of felt like on the nose. It just kind of went nothing surprised me in the film. Like everything was like kind of predictable.
Well, in the comic books, does it ever get out of the range of predictability? Obviously, you have no budget in a comic book. You only have the artist's imagination.
I mean, in the comic book, you're following
more characters too.
You're following Deadpool around, and he's just doing stupid stuff. Like the comics get a little wacky. And you can stretch a story out.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
For years, if you want.
Plus, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
If Deadpool wants to fight Apocalypse, you could do it.
I feel like the narrative of this film was super traditional, super straightforward.
Were you expecting to be?
No, I'm not disappointed by that. I'm talking on a technical level. As a filmmaker, this wasn't the film that I would show people. I wouldn't show the script to people and be like, okay, this is what you want to strive to be.
I liked it.
I
don't know.
I had a great time. No, it was great. It was hilarious.
I liked it better than the first one.
The action, it was better made. It definitely had more time, and they definitely put more into it. I feel like the first one they just kind of
got it out there.
Yeah, and they got away.
I mean, the action was great. Josh Brolin is becoming one of my favorite actors. Obviously his role is simplistic.
That's a plot flaw right there. Like you never explained why he has a metal arm. Why there's something wrong with him. Like you see that he's looking at himself in the mirror, he's touching himself. That never gets explained. If you're not a comic book fan,
I don't know.
You have no idea.
I don't know why his family got targeted. In the future.
And that's not part of the. That was made up for this movie. That's just the same thing that they did with the first one. They're using obscure like.
Carlos looked him up on the way. He's a real.
I didn't say he wasn't real, but it's what they did in the first one. Finding obscure characters and using them instead of using
like
the big.
Because
I'm sure that was probably like when the X-Men franchise was like, you can't use like these characters. We'll let you use these ones.
These characters that no one will ever want to watch.
Yeah, these tertiary characters that are they're not big in the comics.
I know you're used to the act. You watched the Wilder People movie.
Yes, and I love that kid. That kid's hilarious, dude. That kid's
he's funny.
He's hilarious. Yeah, absolutely.
He was like Fat Amy. He reminded me of Fat Amy, the Rebel Wilson.
Why are you being racist against Australians and New Zealanders, man?
I'm just saying. He reminded me of her. I'm just saying.
Coincidence that he's overweight and from down under.
Hey, I didn't fucking make that coincidence. God did, okay? But I'm just saying, I liked how it all came together. Even though I didn't have the backstory of Cable's real motivations. Obviously, we knew he wanted to save his family, and that's kind of really all he needed.
There was just a lot of stuff thrown out there.
But he had an arc, though. He did have an arc. to a certain
Yeah, he had an
degree.
arc, but I'm saying a lot of stuff was just thrown on screen with very little explanation, if any at all. It was just thrown there, and you kind of had to go with it.
I think that's why I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I think I just went with it. You
Okay.
know,
And I'm not saying not to go
Terry
with that.
Crews,
I'm
like
just-
I was expecting him to be a bit like that whole team that they assembled.
Yeah, that's one of the unexpected things was like that.
They all died
until
in the way they
when
died.
he went off, I was like, okay, everybody's gonna die now. Like then I knew, and then the Brad Pitt cameo as well.
Brad Pitt, that was fucking hilarious. That when he plays the fucking Vanisher, which is
Yeah.
the dumbest fucking name of a character ever. I'm curious to know if that's real, like if that's
I'm
or if they
pretty
made
sure
it.
all these characters are real characters,
And that's how shitty they are on Marvel's
and
totem
that's probably
pole.
why they killed them all so quickly.
Well, they brought them back. They're all gonna come back.
no, they only brought back Pete.
Well, they only showed bringing back Pete.
Yeah,
but you
but-
have to assume
No, I'm pretty sure he only saved Pete. He didn't give a shit about the other guys.
it's fucked up.
Yeah,
fucked
I
up.
think he just went and got Pete.
Which is he was a funny
Yeah.
ass fucking character when he
Yeah.
was putting that sunscreen on.
Yeah,
just
I thought it
globbing
was
on.
mayonnaise. I was like,
Did
why
you?
is this guy putting mayonnaise?
That's
in
how
his
white
hand?
he
I
is.
know,
He puts mayonnaise on his skin.
yeah.
No, I mean I enjoyed the action. I felt like the action was good.
Action was great.
The CGI for the like other than the
Colossus
Juggernaut.
was terrible.
Well, Juggernaut I thought was the worst out of everybody.
They were both bad. Like right when Colossus came on screen, I was like, okay, now
but Colossus never has looked good.
but now the budget is showing for sure. Like I thought Colossus looked better. They showed less of Colossus in the first one.
I didn't think Colossus was that bad. I thought Juggernaut was the
I
standout.
thought he was pretty fucking bad.
Well,
And
whatever.
I just didn't. I didn't.
It was a $100
This
million
is me-
movie. They put that money
This is
clearly
me
into
being a
action
comic,
scenes.
being a comic nerd, you know. But the Juggernaut, the way they made Juggernaut look, I was kind of like.
Well, he's supposed to be
I like how they made him huge. I didn't like how they kind of changed the way his
Who's his brother? Because I'm not familiar with the comics.
Professor X is his stepbrother,
Oh, okay.
and he hates him.
That's so I
Yeah.
assume that based on the line of dialogue, but
Well,
I
he's
don't
wearing the
remember
helmet
that.
so he can't read his.
But I don't remember
Yeah.
ever that being introduced in X-Men 3 because I know that's when he came out.
No, they didn't make that connection at all.
Yeah,
in
because I know that was his first introduction
Yeah.
to this universe because it's supposed to be that same
And
Juggernaut.
they made Vinnie Jones, and he's like way small.
He didn't say this is the Juggernaut, bitch, which they did do in X-Men 3 though.
Oh shit! It's been so long since I watched that trash ass movie. You know what? I'm gonna take that back. I actually didn't mind X3 the way everybody else hated it.
It wasn't the worst fucking movie.
I'm kind of an X-Men apologist when it comes to those films. Like I don't hate them as much as everybody.
Well, now in retrospect, you can watch it back. You're like, well, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think I didn't know it was Juggernaut though. Did you know it was gonna be him? Like when they were alluding
I
to
saw
this
this
big
huge
guy.
guy, and I was wondering who it was gonna be.
Because I was thinking, who the hell is a big
Yeah.
X-Men universe character? Like, who is that big? I couldn't think of anybody. I don't know who anybody who's that size.
Right.
Um,
And they changed some stuff. Like the helmet is where he gets his powers. The helmet is from Dormammu's realm. So he had to like kind
Really?
of sell his soul to get the helmet.
So he's in Doctor Strange world.
Yes.
I know they're all Marvel.
Well,
Comics,
he's
but
an X-Men character.
God, man, I can't wait till Disney gets all
But
these characters.
it's for sure like in the same Doctor Strange universe. Like that helmet like belongs to like one of these evil people that Doctor Strange battles, and that's where he gets his powers from. Was that helmet?
Fuck.
That's like why.
Comcast, you better fuck off.
Yeah.
You, like seriously, like that. Like right there, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, dude. Like,
That's awesome
the MCU,
already.
The MCU could make Juggernaut like
Badass.
the fucking shit, and they don't have to like. They could give him a real face. They don't have to give him a fake fucking face. You know?
I like that he was big though. I really did.
No,
like that he was big.
I like that part. That was.
And then I liked what I enjoyed about the whole movie as a whole.
There was some odd stuff like at the beginning where he's slitting everybody's throats. I was like, why isn't he chopping more heads off? I'm
Who,
wondering.
Deadpool?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they did
Budget?
that for ratings though.
Budget.
Would it cost more to chop people's heads off?
Well, I'm sure you have to animate that.
Or do you think it
can't
was like
actually
if you
cut
chop
people's
too many
off.
heads off, it's gonna go from R to X?
Nah, I don't think so. Violence, violence in America. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, but
I was just okay. So very very quick sidebar. When I was editing the videos for race or whatever, we were doing something, and Aaron mentioned Rambo 4, like the 50 caliber. Oh, it was when Salman Khan's holding that rocket launcher,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Reminded me when Rambo has the 50 cal." I rewatched that scene. I can guarantee you they could have had more heads getting cut off because that scene is so fucking violent, and I forgot. People are getting blown to smithereens with this
Right.
50. Like, yeah, but that didn't bother me per se because I was just impressed that they actually went that far with the violence because the first one really wasn't that.
Oh, so yeah, I was the opposite. I was like, why aren't they going that far? Like,
Well, he killed someone with the fucking chainsaw.
yeah, but you don't see him dying with the chainsaw.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't.
Well, you don't cut to his face, but you
They
you
shoot him in
see
the
it
background, and the door closes as
he's putting it. No, he's putting it.
It wasn't. It wasn't Scarface, all right.
Well, Scarface, you don't see anything.
You see the guy's fucking arms off when he goes into the bathtub.
But you don't see anything. That's what Brian De Palma. That was the beauty of what he did. Is you don't see one chainsaw hit any part of any organ at all. You just see
Alfred Hitchcock?
No, Brian De Palma.
Well, yeah, but who do you get that from?
Oh yeah, of course, Psycho. Yeah, absolutely. But no, what I was gonna say, what I enjoyed most about it is everyone was okay and consistent with the world that they built. And what I mean is the villain cussed, Cable cussed. They all fucking had potty mouths. Juggernaut said fucking he was super potty mouth, and I'm gonna assume in the comic books he's not that fucking vulgar. But they even got Colossus to say fuck at the end.
There's no vulgarity in any of the comic books.
But I enjoy that they implemented that because
they took advantage of the universe that they're in,
which is great. It's just a great. I just enjoyed it and I just had a good time.
Yeah.
Period.
It was a great time. No, it was a great time. If Daniel's gonna have one complaint, it was people laughing at everything.
That is my one complaint because I just genuinely felt like some of the jokes weren't that funny. Not to say they weren't bad. But I felt like the jokes were written were like, you know, because some of the jokes were
chuckle and
because I think some of them were written as chuckles, like, oh, let's just throw this little slight jab in there, and then they make it seem like it's the.
And there was a lot of stuff in there. Like it starts off with the end of Logan. You know, he's got
with that toy, that fucking ballerina toy, which is great.
It was just there was a lot of callbacks to the other films, and they even made reference to the MCU films as well.
Called Cable Thanos, which is funny. The post-credit scenes were funny.
Well, the DCU films, like you're so dark.
Are you from the DC universe? I mean, those are great. That's what's so amazing about this movie is it just
These are Ryan Reynolds' best films for sure.
Period.
They're better than
no
any
one
other
else.
movies made.
Fuck it. Let's just get to the part with the Disney whole deal. Again, I said this before. I'm gonna reiterate. What made me just sad is Disney's gonna take this over. There's no way. I don't think Disney's not gonna buy this back. Even if Comcast comes in, Disney's going to say, fuck it. What's $7 billion for the billions we're going to be making by having all these characters? What are they going to do with Deadpool? I have my theories, but what do you think? I think Deadpool is the perfect character that can be integrated right now as is into the MCU because he can reference everything. He can reference the deals. He can reference, I'm not part of this universe anymore. You can easily write that in where Ryan Reynolds can still be Deadpool.
Right.
You can still you might miss these characters, but like, do you recast? Like, what is your take?
I think if they decide to keep Deadpool the way he is, I think it's gonna go Netflix, like a series instead of movies. Because
I don't know. It depends how much money this movie makes, though, man. If this movie makes $150 million, or even close to that,
but it could also reinvigorate like the Netflix series because we don't know how much they're making.
But
I don't know. I didn't see. The thing is, like, I think he will mess up the flow of the Marvel universe. This him breaking the fourth wall and stuff because it's cool because he's contained in his own little mini universe the way it is.
But he's in the Fox universe right now.
He is, but he isn't because we haven't really seen.
But that's just because of the writing and the budget.
Yeah.
But Professor X and the whole gang were in that one shot.
Right.
That one shot.
Which is funny.
When he was complaining about, why can't you throw me a bone? And then they cut to it and they close the door.
Right. And then him with Cerebro on.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Him rolling around in Professor X's wheelchair.
But I'm just saying, though, I think if there's any character that can transition and keep... But what do you do, though? Because, see, Netflix, my issue with that is Kevin Feige doesn't control the Marvel TV show on Netflix.
This is true.
What is Deadpool going to comment on? Punisher? Daredevil?
I mean,
I haven't heard any future characters coming to the TV universe. You know what I mean?
What I'm saying is he's going to be a tough character to integrate because he's so...
Well, he's a tough character now to integrate to the Fox world.
He's so in his own thing.
So what do you do
And
then?
even in the comics, like, he's not really involved in any of the, like... He's never been involved in the major storylines. Like, you never see him in Avengers. You never see him in the X-Men books anymore. Every book he's in is kind of his own book. And, I think...
They figured out how to get Guardians of the Galaxy into the picture, though.
Well...
I know it's different.
Guardians of the Galaxy has no, like, history. Guardians of the Galaxy has no fan base. Like,
well, no, I'm just saying...
That's an argument. Like, that's one of the main...
What would you do?
For me, that's one of the main reasons why MCU works so well is because... They didn't have the big guns, so they had to work with what they had, and they made them work. They made those characters bigger than they are in the comics.
Well, what would you do with Deadpool then? That's what because if they get the rights, it's not like they're gonna fucking stop me. If this movie makes $150 million opening weekend, you can guarantee your ass.
I
that they're gonna,
I
it's a
think
property.
it needs to be branded. It needs to be
a one shot or something.
no. It needs to be like on the outskirts of the MCU,
like Daredevil.
like kind of like the way they're doing it. That's why I brought up the TV thing, where it's it's in the same universe, but it's not at the same time.
And maybe a character or two will interact.
Exactly,
with him, but
maybe or something, but it's its own because it's its own genre. It's an action film, but it's a comedy. These are comedies. These are more comedies than the Guardians of the Galaxy films.
Absolutely, they're funnier than the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
But these like the Guardians of the Galaxy have more heart, if you will. There's more of like a moral to the story.
Absolutely.
These ones don't really have that. This one had a little bit of it, but it's not the focal point of the film.
No, but I'm just so you don't.
Yeah.
So you
these are this. I feel like Deadpool is a character film more than it is a story film. You know what I mean? Like if you use him, you got to use him the way the comic books are, as like a very popular tertiary character, where characters from the other books join him, but he doesn't necessarily join them.
Got it.
You know.
I just think because would you recast Ryan Reynolds?
Who are you gonna recast him with? That's a tough part. Like who?
Well, that's what I'm asking. If
like,
you're Disney, do you?
No, I think he's perfect for the character. When we saw in the Wolverine movie that he was casting, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. And then they fucked that up.
And then they retconned it.
And they retconned it, which was amazing. That was awesome. The Green Lantern one, that was fucking
Green
great.
Lantern.
Yeah.
And I like Green Lantern. I haven't seen it in a long time, but
Oh boy, not gonna touch that one. But
I'm just saying, but I think it's an interest because I'm stoked to see an X-Force movie, but now it's like a part of the deal. If in this deal, are movies that were already in production allowed to be made under the Fox banner, or are they gonna get canceled? Is this it for the Deadpool universe?
I feel
now?
like you know what I feel like if they're already shooting them, those are gonna come out. But I think any new projects are like,
but you have to define. But that's what I'm saying though. If would you be I guess my question is, would you be disappointed if this was the last Deadpool?
Yeah, absolutely. If they just completely got rid of the character,
I mean, now X-Force.
Hey man, and you know what? Fucking like you said, Deadpool 300 came out, and they're saying that's the end of the run. You know, what does that mean? Is that Disney doing what they did to the X-Men books, to the Fantastic Four books?
Because maybe Fox is going to make another 2 Deadpool movies because they were already in development.
Who knows? Yeah.
I don't know. Because I don't know if Deadpool 3.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the numbers. I don't know all the ins and outs of this deal. But you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder where.
Because I'm saying like the team up. I want to see Josh Brolin again with these people. I want to see Domino again. I mean, I had no knowledge of Domino's character prior to this movie and the whole luck thing. The way they did
that's
that.
her power.
But that's awesome. That shit was fucking cool. Like I enjoyed it.
That's an integral part of her character.
And it was super
and she's
creative.
An integral part of X-Force. And so when I saw the pictures, I was like, because Deadpool's like white, like not pink, like white, and then she's got a black whatever the dog from the Little Rascals thing going on.
I know what you're talking about, but.
And I saw the pictures, and I was
like, spot thing.
Yeah, she had like this kind of white, like fairly faint too. It wasn't even heavy because the actress is black, obviously, and they're not gonna. I mean, and not even if she wasn't black, like who are you gonna get? And it's completely, it just doesn't translate. But I saw it and I was like, but she fucking killed it. I mean, I'm already a fan of hers from Atlanta. Like she's fucking gorgeous. Like
she can act well too.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Should have led with that, Gian.
Yeah.
You fucking. Misogynist.
Absolutely. I've never strayed away from that at all. I like good-looking people, male and females, on pictures. We've discussed this many a time. I'm not.
But anyway, I interrupted
you. But she did a fucking awesome job. She was amazing. She was one of my favorite parts of the movie. She stole.
Every time she's on the screen,
a few scenes.
100%.
She stole quite a few scenes. So she was great, and that's one like I would be disappointed if she's gone. Like they don't.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's they set this. I feel like
you can't recast her either. Like you know.
But you can't. That's what fucking sucks about this shit, man. Like, I feel like there's a way where Marvel could literally integrate this Deadpool universe into the MCU, like you said, in a little corner.
Like I could see X-Force because the actual X-Force Deadpool isn't a part of in the books. Like I could see the X-Force in the MCU. I don't know if I could see Deadpool X-Force. Like that's I don't know. I'm like really interested because
I think it sucks. This deal kind of sucks. This is definitely one of the negatives of it. I mean, it doesn't suck. I just said I love the deal, but I'm just saying like this is one of the casualties that's gonna suck.
The X-Men. Oh my God. The X-Men and Fantastic Four in the MCU are gonna be.
I agree.
Amazing.
I just jizzed earlier when you mentioned the Juggernaut's helmet. I'm just saying this is one of the casualties I feel like that's gonna really suck.
Right.
But at least we got 2 movies because we weren't even supposed to get one.
Right.
You know, thanks to James Cameron out there because he's the one who championed the original director. Which I'm kind of glad he didn't make this movie, that first director, because his plans for this one were supposed to be completely in the opposite direction of this one.
Like I told you when it got fired, I was like, okay, he's doing something
that no one likes.
He's getting too big for his britches.
If Ryan Reynolds isn't on board, and Ryan Reynolds is a champion for the movie,
kind of like Ryan Coogler on Creed 2. But
Creed, he was not even directing Creed 2.
Well, I wonder why, Daniel.
Well, they got another black director, so it can't be.
That's not. I wasn't alluding to that.
Oh, I thought you were based on previous tweets and stuff.
No. But we'll talk about that on our next podcast.
Final thoughts? You have anything else to say?
No, let's just give it a rating. What do you give it out of 10?
I kind of don't want to rate it because I just had a good time and I just recommend it. Like if I were to do the Roger Ebert, it would be a 2 thumbs up.
Okay,
for
that's
me.
fair.
I don't want to attach a number to it. I just had a good time.
All right.
Period. Like,
you're a pussy. That's fine.
I mean those jokes too were funny when the blind lady was like, okay, take the pity dick out of your mouth or whatever she said. Like those moments were so funny, and I was so impressed to see that in a comic book movie with the Marvel tag that it was just like, fuck it, I don't care. It's just like that first one. These are like event films in a weird way because they're so. We should feel so grateful and special that these exist.
Absolutely.
I feel like because 10 years ago they would never have existed. They never would have.
I mean, the superhero film 10 years ago was just being reinvigorated.
They I'm saying. So like the fact that
they were definitely not thinking about going R-rated. Like,
not to this because this is a hard R. I feel like this is a hard. I mean, they make the joke that it's a family movie and they're making jokes about babysitters and stuff. Blah blah blah.
Well, because remember the controversy, people were taking their kids to see the first one.
That's what I'm saying. It's so meta. It's great. So I'm just saying,
it's very aware of itself.
So that's for me. It's a 2 thumbs up. I'm not going to give it a rating because I don't think. For me, it's just I didn't watch it that way. My brain was completely turned off. I mean, I just didn't watch it analytically. I think it's one of the few movies where I just zoned in and I was just in it. I was only taken out by the fucking stupid laughter people. I wish I saw it in the emptier theater.
Okay.
I don't know. I just hate people.
Okay, you fucking racist.
Black Tom, okay? I'm not a racist.
All right. Well, I was going by Black Panther because you went super analytical on that ass, but...
Well, because people were championing as it. There's a difference. There's a fucking difference, all right? No one's championing the Deadpool 2 as the greatest cinematic masterpiece of all time, transcending film, okay? When fucking that's what people were saying for Black Panther. Although Richard Roper said that this is Godfather 2 for like comic book movies.
But Deadpool 2?
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, it was great. I had a good time.
It was better than the first one.
I loved it. 2 thumbs up. I definitely recommend watching this.
100%.
Like, if you didn't like this, then you're dumb.
Or you're not into this type of humor, and so I wouldn't recommend it to you anyway.
Yeah.
Well, because I feel like if you're not, I feel like you need to at least be within the comic book realm a little bit to really, because I don't know if I could take my mom to go watch this and she'd enjoy it.
Right.
But because she just doesn't care about that shit. She probably would laugh though.
Well, it was a joke, but you had to ruin it. Anyways.
Excuse me.
Daniel is talking too much. It was a great film. It's definitely a standalone film. I don't know what's happening with if there's going to be a third one, what's going on. That's like Daniel alluded to. It's disappointing, but if you watch this and got it spoiled for, I mean, I guess we didn't spoil it too much. We didn't really spoil it at all.
We didn't really talk about the movie, to be honest. Really, we really didn't.
We just talked about like aspects. We didn't talk about the plot whatsoever. We just really basically talked about the elements.
Because there really wasn't a plot. There was just, like you were saying, it was a paper-thin story, but it was a story nonetheless. It wasn't paper-thin. It was traditional.
It definitely
had
a
narrative.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a Hollywood narrative.
It had more depth.
I mean, they even said, like, in the middle of the movie, the character gets sad and defeated. This is that moment.
Or when he's doing his like fucking plan, and it's like no need for a third act. Like,
if they win, which is funny because
Yeah.
that was totally.
That's gonna do it for us. Thanks for watching. If you're listening on iTunes, make sure to leave us a 5-star review. We're on SoundCloud, iTunes. I just said iTunes, on Stitcher.
We're on iTunes.
Overcast.
We're on SoundCloud.
If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to smash the like button. Leave comments. Let us know what you think.
Leave
if
us
you
a
saw the
5-star
movie.
review on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud.
5-star review.
We're on iTunes.
Yeah, we will see you next time. Check out our Avengers.
SoundCloud, our iTunes.
Okay, Daniel's just being fucking stupid now. Make sure to check out our Infinity War review right here if you haven't seen it already. And
that's also on iTunes.
There's also on iTunes podcasts if you have an iOS. But we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.